So I'm thinking, it really surprises me how men have such a low opinion of themselves. Men essentially regard themselves as second class to women. Women come first in everything and are held in much more regard than men. Men simply don't see themselves as valuable or important. Men seem to see themselves as functionaries. Men are more human doings than human beings. An expression that illustrates this quite obviously is a simple and common one, and it goes ladies before gentlemen. That's quite a common expression to be found in many different settings. And a man might look on that and see it as correct and polite and the right thing to do. Ladies before gentlemen. It does seem appropriate, and men accept it and move on. But if we were to change the words and see how it sounds, the hatred against men would become obvious, absolutely clear. If we were to change it to whites before blacks, then it becomes immediately obvious that that's terribly wrong, completely hateful and wrong. Whites before blacks. But ladies before gentlemen, we don't react at all. Men accept hateful language like that, and it doesn't affect them. They have no appreciation of just how hateful the language is and just what it means in terms of their value in the world. Now I'm thinking black people worked very hard to change that paradigm, to change that mistreatment, basically, the awful mistreatment and low regard of black people in society. And there had to be demonstrations, violent resistance, death in some cases, violence, all kinds of trouble to try and change hateful language like that. Whites before blacks cannot be said now for anybody. It is completely unacceptable and everybody knows it. So in a sense, progress has been made in correcting language like that. But ladies before gentlemen is still in effect. And there is no reaction from men about this mistreatment. And men simply don't get it. It passes right over their heads. Complete disrespect within men. For themselves, it's basically strange. I don't understand why men don't understand how they're mistreated and how they're regarded in society. It really doesn't make sense. Black people understand, and they've had to go through terrible, terrible work to fix it, to change our reality. They've had to work hard, they've had to sacrifice their lives in some cases. There's had to be violence. And what I'm wondering is if men are to change this negative view we have of men in society, if men are to achieve value, if men are to be treated with respect and not disregarded, I'm wondering, does there have to be the same struggle as in the civil rights movement? Does there have to be, what's the word? Does it have to be trouble, basically, to fix the situation? Can we not be civilized in how we handle this? Can we not treat men with normal, basic respect and not treat men as second class, as disposable? Ladies Before Gentlemen describes a situation for men which is so awful, basically. Men are in an incredibly bad place. It's basically abusive. Men are disregarded, their lives are not important, their life experiences are not important. Ladies before gentlemen, whites before blacks. It's so clear, so obvious, the hatred, but men don't see it, simply do not recognize it. They have grown used to it. They even think it is noble to be disregarded, to be hated, basically. Men have a lot of work to do to gain self-respect. That's what it takes, is to regard themselves properly and highly. Men do have some work to do to combat misandry, but at the moment, men take part in their own oppression, in their own mistreatment. Men need to gain awareness. Men have to understand. That's all it takes, just understanding.